Hi everyone! Welcome to the second lesson of ExpressiveBird Masterclass Background Animation. In this lesson we will create a looped animation of the background. Here is the result we will get in the end. I have divided this small lesson into two parts. First, we will animate flowers and bushes, and then the distant background. Let's move on to the first part, which is the animation of flowers and bushes. From Main Composition, we go to Plants Composition. To make it more convenient, I have split the plants into the left part and the right part. Let's start with the left. Go inside the composition. Our plan for the animation is the following. We will animate one flower, after that we will create an overlap, and then we will repeat it for all the other plants and offset them relative to each other. Let's start. We start with the first flower. Let's create a solo layer for it. And then let's set an anchor point around which the flower will rotate its base. To get a more precise result, we will use motion tools. Animate rotation from -2 to 2. Select the keyframes and press F9. Type in loop out ping pong. Well, it seems to me the speed of swinging should be lower. Let's find the closest moment when the animation remains looped. As the time of animation is 10 seconds, the closest moment of the loop will be here. Let's move the keyframe there to 116. Done. The animation is looped. Now let's create an overlap using the CC Bandit effect, which is already familiar to you. Find it in Effects and Presets and drag it to the one flower layer. Then we will write in the already familiar expression toComp value for start and end. Let's move start and end like that. Animate bend parameter from -7 to 7. Copy loop out expression. Let's check what we've got. Quite rigid. Now, if we offset rotation in half, the upper part of the flower will lag behind the lower part a bit, which will create the needed overlap. Let's move the keyframes on rotation. Great. I've noticed that the edges of the flower are cut. This happens because of the bend effect. Let's fix this issue with Grow Bounds effect. Find it in Effects and Presets panel. Let's apply it to the one flower layer. Move it above the bend effect and increase its value. Now everything is fine. We have finished animating one plant. Now we need to animate the remaining plants the same way. We can animate each plant individually, but we can also speed up the process. Let's make it in 5 steps. Step 1. Set anchor point at the base of the plants. To make it faster, let's select all the layers and click here on Motion Tools panel. Step 2. Copy rotation from the flower that we have already animated. Let's select the other plants and paste it. Step 3. Copy Bandit and paste it to the other plants. All that's left to do is to set start and end points for each layer. Step 4. Select all the plants, press R to see all rotation properties, select all the keyframes on rotation, and move them to make an overlap for all the plants at once. Let's have a look. All the plants are animated with overlap. Now we need to offset them relative to each other. Step 5. Select all the layers and go to Motion Tools panel. Let's make sure the settings match. Now click Sequence. All the layers are now moved 2 frames relative to each other. Let's move all the layers guided by the last layer to ensure the animation is looped. Let's extend the ends of the layers by pressing Alt plus closing square bracket. Let's check the result. Just right. We have animated the plants on the right the same way. That's what it all looks like in the main composition. Okay, we have finished animating the plants. I hope that the sequence of actions is now clear to you. Now let's get down to animating the bushes. Go to Bushes composition. Here we can see 2 layers with the right and the left bush. Let's animate the left bush as an example. Pre-compose it and go inside the composition. We need to create a subtle motion of the bush in the wind. To do that, we will split the bush into parts, animate them separately, and then offset them. Let's prepare the bush for animation. Duplicate the bush. Rename it to Base. Delete the unnecessary points. This will be the static part of the bush that won't be moving. Let's move it below the bush layer. Now we are going to duplicate it and cut every part of the bush separately. The logic of the animation here is the same as it was with the plants, so I'll speed up the process a little bit. Ready. That's the principle according to which all the bushes are animated. Let's go to the second part of the lesson, which is the animation of the distant background. The sky and the clouds. 2.2. The animation of the distant background. Let's go to BG composition. First, let's create our layered sky. We will start from the lower layer. Let's draw a rectangular shape. Apply Wave Warp effect to it and adjust it. We need the movement to be looped. I would like it to be slow, so the cycle should be about 5 seconds long, which means it will be repeated twice in 10 seconds. That's why I'm dividing 1 by 5 and get the speed of the wave that will be perfectly looped in this time interval. Let's add more variety to this wave. Duplicate Wave Warp and adjust it. It looks more interesting now. There's one problem here: ragged edges. Let's solve it with the help of simple choker effect. Set it to 10. Awesome! Let's turn off the layers we don't need and work with the rest of the sky layers. The order is the following. Duplicate the current animated layer of the sky, move it down, convert it to Bezier to make changing its shape easier. Then select 2 upper points of the path contour and drag them up so that they coincide with the next layer. Repaint it and change the wave phase to achieve a more random result. Now let's do the same to create the rest of the sky layers. Great! Let's start animating the clouds. We'll create them with the help of Wave Warp. Let's draw the shape, apply Wave Warp and adjust it. Pre-compose the layer. Make sure this box over here is checked. Crop the pre-comp layer with mask. And adjust Wave Warp just a bit once again. Let's make the clouds more random. Duplicate the cloud composition twice in Project Panel. Then go to the pre-composed layers and change the phase parameter in the Wave Warp effect. Now let's apply Simple Choker. Place the clouds where they should be. And then, holding the Alt key, replace the layers with their duplicates in which we have just changed the wave warp phases. Done. Now let's make them even more random. Change the wave warp speed to -0.2 in every other layer. Cool! The background is completely ready. In the next lesson, we will animate the reaction of the liana and the branches to the movements of the bird.